High in the mountains stood an ancient castle. By day it looked abandoned, lifeless, but at night its walls bloomed with flowers of light, glowing in colors like a living rainbow. People called it the Castle of Lights. They also whispered, whoever entered it at night never returned. Two siblings, Aaron and Lily, came to the village for their holidays. One evening, as they strolled through the market square, a group of children ran past, giggling and pointing to the castle. "Do you see? Do you see?" Aaron and Lily exchanged a puzzled look. "See what?" Aaron asked, but the children only screamed with laughter and disappeared down a side street. Curiosity got the better of Aaron. "Come on, Lily," he said, pulling her towards the castle. "Let's go take a look." At first, the building looked no different than any other when viewed from the village square. But as they rounded a corner, Aaron gasped. Before them, stretching across the entire mountainside, blossomed hundreds of brilliant lights, painting the dark stone in shades of blue, green, red, and gold. It resembled a gigantic, ever-changing stained glass window. The sight was breathtaking. "Oh my gosh, Lily," Aaron whispered. "It's magical." She nodded, mesmerized, but beneath her awe, a shiver ran through her. "It's beautiful," she admitted, "but these lights don't feel normal." As if in answer, a cold wind suddenly swept through the courtyard, extinguishing most of the torches and sending long, dancing shadows across the ground. Now the castle loomed before them, dark and silent. "I think we should go," Lily said, taking a step back. But Aaron shook his head. "No way," he said, grinning. "We're going inside." He pushed open the heavy oak door and stepped into the castle. The interior was even more spectacular than the exterior. The walls shimmered with thousands of tiny lights, which floated like fireflies in the darkness. Aaron and Lily stood for a moment, taking it all in. The place felt both ancient and magical, yet abandoned and lifeless. Aaron broke the silence. "So who lives here?" Lily shrugged. "Some rich recluse, I guess. Someone who likes their home decorated with a little extra sparkle." She smiled, trying to lighten the mood. But Aaron wasn't listening. His gaze was fixed on the hallway ahead. "Come on," he said, walking deeper into the castle. "Let's explore." As they walked, the glow from the walls grew dimmer and the air colder. Soon the hallways narrowed and the ceiling grew so low that Aaron had to stoop to avoid the rough stone above his head. At the end of the passage, a faint light flickered. Aaron quickened his pace, excitement growing. Around the corner and into the next room, they came upon a grand hall, its vast size hinted at by the towering arches that stretched into darkness overhead. In the center stood a single flickering torch on a pedestal, casting dancing shadows across the wall. Beside it hung a mirror, tarnished with age, but the surface was smooth, reflecting the flickering light like 1,000 tiny stars. Aaron approached the mirror, mesmerized. "Look, Lily," he breathed. "It's beautiful." He reached out a hand as if to touch the dancing flames, but stopped short when he noticed something strange. Behind him, reflected in the mirror, stood a third figure. Aaron turned, startled. There was no one there. He turned back to the mirror, but the figure was gone. Lily placed a hand on Aaron's shoulder. "Are you all right?" she asked. He jumped, startled by her sudden touch. Yes, he stammered. "I'm fine. I saw something strange in the mirror." "What do you mean?" "There was someone behind me, but when I turned around, there was no one there." He turned back to the mirror, but the mysterious figure had vanished. "Strange," he muttered. Then, as if in answer, a voice echoed through the chamber. "Once the reflection escapes, the real one disappears." Aaron and Lily whirled around, searching for the source of the voice, but saw no one. Only the crackling torch and dancing shadows answered their questioning looks. "Who's there?" Aaron called out, his voice echoing unanswered through the vast hall. "Show yourself," Lily demanded, her voice shaking. Suddenly, the air around them grew cold, as though a winter wind had swept through the room. The flames in the torch sputtered and died, plunging the room into absolute darkness. For a moment, only silence reigned. Then Aaron felt a presence behind him, icy fingers crawling up his spine. Slowly he turned. Standing behind him, wreathed in darkness, was the faceless figure from the mirror. Its eyes burned like hot coals in the gloom, boring into his very soul. With a gasp, Aaron stumbled back. The faceless one took a step forward, and in that instant the room blazed with renewed light. Aaron and Lily stared in disbelief as the faceless one vanished. Where it had stood, the mirror now hung cracked and empty. Beside it lay a single long black feather. Terror gripping their hearts, Aaron and Lily fled, stumbling through the maze of hallways, desperate to escape the clutches of the faceless one. Behind them, they heard the sound of shattering glass, growing louder with every passing moment. They ran blindly, tripping over one another as the voice echoed through the castle. Once the reflection escapes, the real one disappears. Dizzy with fear, they burst out of the castle doors and into the night. Gasping for breath, they collapsed onto the grass, trembling uncontrollably. Above them, the sky was filled with stars, and the moon hung like a silver coin in the velvet sky. All around them, the flowers of light bloomed brilliantly, casting dancing shadows across the grass. But Aaron and Lily saw none of it. Their eyes were wide with terror as they stared at each other, or rather the space between them. For where Lily sat, there should have been Aaron, and where Aaron sat, there should have been Lily. Confused, they rose to their feet and slowly moved closer, reaching out hands wavering. "Is this real?" Lily whispered, her voice barely audible. Aaron nodded, tears streaming down his face. I don't understand," he stammered. "How can this be?" Suddenly, a gust of wind swept through the courtyard, extinguishing most of the torches and sending long, dancing shadows across the ground. The remaining light guttered, revealing the horrifying truth. Aaron and Lily stared at each other in disbelief and horror, for they were no longer themselves. Their bodies were wreathed in darkness, and their eyes glowed with an eerie, unnatural light. With a scream, they ran, stumbling over one another as they raced through the darkness. Behind them, the last of the castle lights flickered and died, plunging them into absolute darkness. The wind moaned through the courtyard, carrying with it the echo of the faceless one's warning. Once the reflection escapes, the real one disappears. In the distance, they heard the sound of shattering glass, growing louder with every passing moment. They ran blindly, desperately seeking an escape from the clutches of the faceless one. But there was no escape. They were trapped within the curse of the castle forever. And so the legend of the Castle of Lights continued to be whispered around campfires and in hushed tones. A reminder to all who heard the tale that some mysteries are best left unsolved and some doors are best left unopened. For within the depths of darkness, there are things that yearn to be free, and once set free, there is no turning back.